Imagine dropping straight down into the deep ocean. The sun's light gets weaker after about 650 feet and vanishes completely past 3,000. The deeper you go, the more ocean water presses on you. By the time you reach the very bottom of the deepest trench, the pressure would squeeze you flat like an empty soda can being stepped on. But even in that darkness, at every single level of the ocean, something is looking for a meal. The animals that hunt down here should not even be able to live, and the deeper you dive, the stranger they become. The ocean is like many different worlds stacked on top of each other. Each world gets stranger as the light disappears and the water pressure increases. Scientists divide the ocean into zones, like the sunlit zone, the twilight zone, the midnight zone, the deep sea plains, and the deepest ditches or Hadal trenches. In every zone, nature has created a hunter that is perfect for a place where life shouldn't be possible. We will explore 4 of these worlds and meet the amazing hunter that rules each one. The first hunter uses its body to trick other animals. The deepest one lives where things are so crushing that its bones should turn to liquid before it catches its first meal. We start our trip at 650 feet, where the last of the sunlight is fading away. At around 650 feet down, the ocean is always dark, like the time after sunset. Only a tiny bit of sunlight gets this deep, making everything look like a dark bluish-green color. The pressure is already 20 times stronger than on the surface. That's like having the weight of a small car pushing on every square inch of your skin. This is the home of the lanternfish. A lanternfish is tiny. Most are the size of your hand or a deck of cards. They look normal at first, a thin silver body, big dark eyes, and a tail shaped like a fork. But if you turn off the lights on your deep-sea submarine, the lanternfish disappears. It didn't swim away. Its body just made itself invisible. Underneath every lanternfish are small organs called photophores. These are like small biological flashlights. They work using a chemical reaction inside the fish. The lanternfish looks at the dim light coming from above and makes its belly glow with the exact same color and brightness. If a bigger fish looks up, it sees only the faint twilight instead of the shadow of the lanternfish. Scientists call this counter-illumination. It's like a magic trick with light. The lanternfish doesn't hide behind anything. It paints a perfect copy of the sky onto its own skin. There are about 250 kinds of lanternfish. They swim in giant groups called shoals. Together, there are more lanternfish than all the sharks, tuna, cod, and salmon combined. The biggest hunting competition on Earth is happening in this ocean layer that almost no human has seen, fought by fish the size of your finger, using light as a weapon. But the Twilight Zone is still easy to live in compared to what is below. Deeper down, the last bits of sunlight finally die, and the rules of survival change completely. At 3,000 feet down, the ocean turns completely black. It is so dark that you cannot see your own hand even if it's right in front of your face. The pressure is now 100 times stronger than on the surface. That's like having a full-grown elephant standing on a small coin on your chest. The only things holding up against this pressure are the water and the animals that live here. In this zone, animals don't chase each other. They don't hide because there is nowhere to hide. There is only the hunter, the dark, and a huge question. If you are a predator in a world without light, how do you find prey that does not want to be found? The way life solved this problem in the Midnight Zone is truly scary. The female anglerfish has a long, thin fin hanging in front of her mouth like a fishing pole. At the very end of the pole is a squishy light. Inside that light are tiny living bacteria that glow. The anglerfish feeds these glowing bacteria with her blood, and in return, they give her a light that pulses in the complete blackness. The lure flashes and moves. It looks like a small swimming creature floating alone in the dark. Anything that sees this light can't help but swim closer. This is the only light in this world, and the anglerfish uses curiosity like a trap. When the prey gets close, the light stops. The anglerfish opens a huge mouth full of hundreds of sharp, curved teeth. She snaps shut faster than you can blink. It happens in under 6 milliseconds. And then there are the males. Male anglerfish are much smaller than the females. They are less than 1/10 of her size. They can't eat because they don't have a working stomach. They don't have a light. Their only job after they hatch is to find a female in the huge black ocean using only their sense of smell and then bite her. Once he bites, he never lets go. His mouth sticks to her skin. Their blood systems join together. His eyes, fins, and insides slowly melt away, leaving only a permanent attachment that takes food from her blood. A big female can carry 6 or 8 of these attached males at once, which allows her to make eggs whenever she needs to for the rest of her life. Nature found a solution for finding a mate in the deep black, but to us, it looks like a monster movie. Around 13,000 feet down, the ocean changes again. The water is always freezing cold, just 2 degrees Celsius, and it never changes. The pressure is now 400 times stronger than on the surface. Almost all food from the surface has disappeared. The only steady food source is marine snow, a slow rain of dead, tiny plants and animals falling from above. In a world with so little food, hunters can't waste energy chasing anything. Chasing is too risky because prey is so rare. The hunters in this zone learned a new trick. They wait. The Gulper eel is the best at this waiting game. When resting, a Gulper eel looks like a plain, dark ribbon about 6 feet long, just floating in the water. Its mouth looks normal compared to the rest of its body. Its eyes are tiny because there's nothing to see anyway. But then, if something touches the glowing lure on its tail, the eel does something no other backboned animal on Earth can do. Its head opens up. Not just its mouth, its whole head. Its lower jaw drops way down and blows up like a balloon. This balloon-like pouch can swallow fish that are bigger than the eel itself. Its skull, neck, and body cavity all stretch to fit the meal. It swallows whole creatures that should be too large for it to eat. Down here, you don't just catch what you can fit. You catch anything that swims by, and your body changes to fit the catch. But 13,000 feet is still not the bottom. Below the deep sea plains are the trenches. These are deep, narrow scars where 2 pieces of the Earth's crust meet. They plunge down to depths so deep that until 1960, no human had ever reached them. The trenches are their own world, and the rules change one last time. Hadal comes from Hades, the Greek god of the underworld. The name was chosen on purpose. Below 20,000 feet, the ocean is so mean and dangerous that for most of history, scientists thought nothing could live here. The pressure at the deepest point is over 1,000 times stronger than on the surface. That's like the weight of 50 giant jumbo jets pushing down on every square foot of the ocean floor. Most of the tiny parts that make up living things, cells and proteins, simply stop working under this crushing weight. But in 2017, a robot submarine filmed a fish swimming easily at the bottom of the Mariana Trench, 26,830 feet deep. It was a small, pale fish with no scales, squishy skin, and a face that looked like it was gently smiling. This is the Mariana snailfish. At first look, the snailfish does not seem like a hunter. It looks like something that should be eaten. But if you look closely, everything about it shows an animal that didn't just deal with the pressure, it changed completely to master it. Its body has almost no hard bone made of calcium. Calcium bones break easily under extreme pressure. So the snailfish's skeleton is mostly soft, bendable material called cartilage. This lets it bend with the pressure instead of fighting it. Its cells are filled with a special chemical called TMAO. This chemical stops its proteins from getting smashed into useless shapes by the weight of the water. Its skin is like jelly and lets the pressure go right through it, making the fish almost as much like the water as the ocean itself. And it hunts. The Hadal zone is full of small, shrimp-like animals called amphipods. These scavengers gather in huge numbers and can eat a dead whale down to the bones in months. The snailfish has learned to feed on these amphipods with slow, careful skill. It uses its soft suction cup belly to anchor itself to the sea floor while it gently picks off prey one by one. In a place that should be empty because of the pressure, cold, and no food, a small, smiling fish has made its own kingdom. We now know about 20 kinds of snailfish living in the deep trenches all over the world. The deepest backboned animal ever filmed was a snailfish in 2023 at 27,350 feet. This is a depth where scientists thought fish could not possibly exist. The old science was wrong. The fish is real, and it is hunting. When we look at the whole trip down, we see one main idea. The deep ocean doesn't just make life change, it shows life how to become something completely new. Pressure, darkness, freezing cold, and little food, everything we call a problem, nature has used like a tool to carve out animals that look like something from a fantasy movie. The deeper you go, the more the hunters seem impossible. But down there, impossible is just another Tuesday.